Hello everyone, this is Brad and welcome to another Recapped Annie's video. Today, we are going to continue part 2 of Chainsaw Man. As they look on from the side, Makima warns Power that the killing of a civilian devil hunter's target is usually punishable by death. Power blames Denji for ordering her to kill it in the first place, while Denji argues that she acted too soon and did not give him a chance to cooperate. Makima issued a warning to both of them, assuring them that the team would be disbanded if they could not work together. This leads to Power and Denji having a heart-to-heart where she opens up about her kitten, Meowie, who is being held captive by a devil. Power confesses to feeling at home with cats and not liking the human race. She also promises Denji that he can grope her breasts and fulfill his dream if he helps her rescue her cat from the devil. The Bat Devil accepts Denji's blood, however, betrays Power's expectation and gobbles up Meowie trapped inside the cage. The Bat Devil then tries to fly away in search of better blood to cleanse his palate after drinking Denji's horrible blood, but he is attacked by Power by gulping her down as well. Denji and Power's recruitment is more of an experiment, and they have high expectations of Makima to get results. She calls Power promising and Denji interesting, a seemingly genuine assessment that doesn't instill her superiors with a ton of confidence. Power confesses to feeling at home with cats and not liking the human race. She also dangles the promise of letting Denji grope her breast and fulfill his dream if he helps her rescue her cat from the demon. Denji, who had been indifferent till now, suddenly regained his vigor and set out to rescue Meowie. After getting leave approval from public safety, the two head out to find the devil that has Meowie. Power explains that she knows where the devil is. However, Denji is the only one that will be able to fight it, as the devil will likely use Meowie as a shield upon seeing Power. So when she tells him about her hatred of humans and devils but her love of cats, he's fairly dismissive. And yet, even before she suckered him into helping with the promised of breaths, he's already half caught himself in hypocrisy, realizing he was the same with Pochita. It isn't as though Denji has strong feelings towards humans or devils. It's just more indifference, a willingness to be friends, and a disdain for anything that comes between him and living the good life. After saving Power and Meowie from the Bat Devil, Denji has to face his lover, the Leech Devil. Though it defeats him, Aki rescues the both of them. The next day, Power moves in with Aki and Denji. Meowie, her pet, kept her company through the lonely times, while Power used to spend her time in the wild, hunting animals and drinking their blood to keep herself sated. Meowie came to her weak and withered, so she nursed it back to health, all the while bonding with it. The bond between Meowie and Power sent her running to civilization, taming her wild ways, and settling to find a human to defeat the Bat Devil and get Meowie back safe and sound. Denji, in turn, realized he and Power weren't so different and went all out against the Bat Devil, saving some innocents along the way. The devil finds Denji cute and her type, so she decides to let him go. However, the devil intends to kill Power and Meowie. She wonders why Denji saved her. As she attempts to kill him, he points at her chest and says that he wants to touch her, but she thinks it's a foolish reason. She apologizes for deceiving him, and since Meowie is safe, she will allow him to touch her. Denji gets excited and raises his arm, but it gets blown off at that moment. Power and Denji have been slightly humbled by each other, realizing that their dreams are a little silly in the context of their respective positions. Furthermore, the fight shows just how tough Denji is, even when he isn't in full devil form, letting the fight still be fluid and crazy while still giving him a handicap. And then Aki shows up and eschews the entire battle for the sake of the animation staff with some devilish flair of his own. When he does go fulfill his wishes, the Bat Devil's girlfriend, the Leech Devil, takes the stage and instead cuts through Denji's arm and gulps it down. Aki takes a big focus this week, namely in his interrogation of Denji about Power's innocence and his continued reluctance to treat them as equals. Aki and Denji's morning routine is charted with meticulous construction and almost no sound. And while that point is undoubtedly true, it's all really just the calm before the storm. No matter how much this episode felt like Aki's, Power stole it right at the end, even dominating the end credits theme. Denji earned the rights to squeeze Power's breast, as he had wished for. Power keeps the two boys on their toes with her antics. In the morning, Aki wakes up and washes himself. After making himself coffee, he goes and sits on his balcony. Aki gets a call from Makima, who tells him that she wants to put Power under his care too, just like Denji. Makima assures him that Power promised to behave. Both Denji and Aki scold her for misbehaving and wasting food, but she doesn't care. Power then clogs the toilet as she doesn't like to flush each time, and that she only likes to bathe from time to time. As Denji and Aki complain, she finds them absurd and delicate. One for saving Meowie, one for killing Bat Devil, and one for protecting her from Aki. She originally did not intend to allow him, but changed her mind. While battling her, Denji loses his mind from severe blood loss he was already facing after the Leech Devil cut his arm. He is escorted to the hospital, where Hayawaka takes care of him. Aki helps Denji cover for Power and gives her another chance after her betrayal, making her indebted to Denji. Later, Power is assigned to the duo, and they are overwhelmed by her antics. Aki is quite expressive and is clearly in love with Makima because she manages to placate and talk him into accepting Power in his home. Aki is left to deal with both Denji and Power. Denji fulfills his dream of squeezing the chest, as promised by Power. Denji fulfills his dream of squeezing the chest, as promised by Power. Denji feels slightly directionless after finally feeling a woman's breaths, but Makima gives him incentive and a new devil to hunt. But he can't seem to think past his ultimately short-term goals, giving Denji a new target which will undoubtedly be the beginning of something more. Denji covered for Power, ensuring she wouldn't be killed for her brief betrayal. The Gun Devil is such an ominous and powerful antagonist with a lot of gravity and mystery. It's also a devil with a personal connection to Aki. Makima raised the bar, understanding how to properly manipulate him by offering him intimacy better than anyone else, while planting seeds to ensure further loyalty. Denji is a simple man with simple pleasures, but he can't seem to think past his ultimately short term goals, and the start of this week's episode once again sees him uncertain about his future. But if Chainsaw Man has proven anything thus far, it's quick to keep the ball rolling, giving Denji a new target which will undoubtedly be the beginning of something more. Last week, in the aftermath of the Bat Devil's extermination by Denji, the incident was wrapped up neatly, and Denji covered for Power, ensuring she wouldn't be killed for her brief betrayal. The Gun Devil is such an ominous and powerful antagonist with a lot of gravity and mystery. It's also a devil with a personal connection to Aki. Makima once again seduces Denji to ensure that he's properly motivated in a display of intimacy rarely captured so tastefully in animation. Makima raised the bar, understanding how to properly manipulate him by offering him intimacy better than anyone else, while planting seeds to ensure further loyalty. It goes to show how effective Makima is as a character that she is so obviously evil and yet the presentation is so intimate and delicate that it's easy to find comfort in her character. A devil that spawned as a result of America's hellish gun violence is excited to start getting to know the rest of the team that Denji is working with, even if there is a sort of lingering fear about their lifespan. If this were Attack on Titan, Arai and Kobeni would be the first on the chopping block. Denji and Power, despite their initial friction, make a volatile and hilarious combo of juvenile weirdos, making the adult Aki's life a living hell. But creeping her way into the spotlight this week is the eye patch wearing Himeno. Aki's partner, Himeno, has an air of experience about her, yet a far more carefree attitude when socializing with her team members. Someone accustomed to losing a lot of people might avoid connection out of an acceptance that people aren't around for long, or they might adopt a more outwardly relaxed persona. Himeno also runs down the same stairs only to show up from the top of the staircase. They realize they are in some sort of loop that keeps them trapped on the eighth floor. Assuming it's the work of a devil, Aki begins to investigate one of the hotel rooms. The mounting evidence suggests that not only are they trapped in space, but time, and that it's on them to get out. No help is on the way. Aki's team finds themselves stuck on the eighth floor with no way out, until the devil trapping them makes an offer. Aki's idea of getting revenge on the girl who slapped Himeno was to put gum on her clothes, which is hilarious primarily for how juvenile a form of revenge it is. It shows that for how mature Aki presented himself, he was still a kid who likely didn't get to mature as much as he should have after his family died. It ends up being just as beneficial for Aki's character as it does her, showing her to be slightly less experienced and a bit goofy. Kinsuke Yushio's score really pulls through during these flashbacks, bathing the scenes in such warmth that Himeno's smile feels that much more like something she desperately needed. Denji is surprisingly optimistic about their chances and even decides this would be the perfect time to catch up on extra sleep. Kobeni has recently passed out, while Hirokazu has a panic attack. The only other person who seems to be doing okay is Power, who is thriving, all things considered. The three of them decide to take turns watching Kobeni and Hirokazu. While outside their room, Denji notes that Himeno smokes the same brand of cigarettes as Aki. She says this is because she's the one who introduced him to smoking. The use of tobacco is expressing their expanding relationship, since the flashback is a nice touch as well. The devil behind the mayhem shows itself and makes a tantalizing offer. They'll let everyone else go if they kill Denji and let the devil feed on him, which they can confirm is the truth because it's a contract, and going back on it would kill the devil. From here, everything gets considerably more stressful. Arai tries to play tough, but ends up having a panic attack for completely understandable reasons, and Kobeni has a lot going on. Her initial backstory is exposited by Arai as if she became a devil hunter for a completely altruistic reason, sending her brother to college. It's hard not to feel for her, and it makes her panic and attempt to kill Denji. One could be forgiven for thinking that Aki's katana was his main weapon and that Khan was just a super move, but Himeno's utter refusal to let him use it is a shock to the system. Aki witnesses that firsthand when the girlfriend of an old partner takes out her anger on Himeno in front of a convenience store. Later that night, at dinner, Himeno tells Aki that she thinks he will last a long time in the devil hunting business. It's after this that she finally convinces him to smoke one cigarette. After his first puff, he announces that he has bad news. The devil that Power killed earlier has turned into a giant, grotesque monster that is now in the hallway. Himeno's ghost devil manages to do some damage, but the devil reveals that no matter what they do, they will not find his heart here as they are located inside the stomach at the moment. Still unsure of how to escape, Aki informs Himeno that he'll use the sword if he has to. She says no, and that if it comes down to the sword or killing Denji, Denji will have to die. He begins expanding toward the room, prompting Himeno, Aki, and Denji to run as he declares himself the Eternity Devil. Considering he cannot kill the Gun Devil on his own, Aki needs the help of other people like Denji, who are crazy enough to fight him. For that reason alone, he refuses to let Denji die. While Himeno stares in shock, Power attempts to use her abilities as the Blood Devil to help Aki. Upset at the idea of having to owe Aki anything, Denji decides to sacrifice himself. However, he doesn't plan to make it easy, planning to use his chainsaw powers as he jumps right into the mouth of the Eternity Devil. And this concludes part 2 of Chainsaw Man. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as it goes a long way to supporting the channel. If there are any anime you would like us to review, please let us know in the comments, and we will make them.